IVM.
Did you know that you can just download Cred and let it take care of your credit card bills? You really can. It gives you reminders when you're approaching your due date, looks for hidden charges on your bill, and even gives you some kick-ass rewards and cashback. It really pays to be good. Just download Cred. Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach podcast. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today we're going to be discussing about how do we understand the different habits that are essential in making us successful in certain things. So in our previous podcast with Chhavi Mittal, we discussed about how we can turn our passion projects into businesses. And when that happens, there is just so much taking place and our life changes completely. I wanted to understand what are Chhavi's habits that she has been using to be successful, be on point, and be the powerhouse that she is. So Chhavi, welcome to the Habit Coach podcast.
Thank you so much. You're putting a lot of pressure on me, Ashton.
The more, the better. Haha. So Chhavi, when I say habits, what are the thoughts that come to your mind when I say the word habits?
Well, the first thought that comes to my mind is wake up at 6:30. So, no matter what happens, no matter what time I slept last night, or no matter how hectic my day was, or how tired I am, I do wake up at 6:30 every morning because I think if I want to achieve the most from the day, that is the first thing that I have to do. And the day I do not wake up at that time, everything is delayed and I'm not able to complete all the tasks that I've assigned for myself for the day. And I don't like that feeling.
So when did this 6:30 habit start? Was it something that you consciously created recently, or has it been something that you've had since your childhood?
No. So I think habits are something which we form along the way, as we go along, and as per our requirements is what we form our habits as, right? So no, I was never an early riser. I started getting into the habit of waking up early when I had kids, because my daughter would just wake me up. Babies always somehow, for some reason, wake up early in the mornings. And that's how I started waking up early myself. But also I started reading up a lot of books after I delivered the first baby, because I wanted to understand what is it that will make my baby thrive and not cry. Why does my baby cry was a question I think that started it all. And to answer that question, I started reading a lot of books, and I understood that if I have a routine for my baby, if I have a rhythm in her life, she will not cry. Or if she's crying, I will know exactly why she's crying, because I know this is the time for her meal, or this is the time for poop, this is the time for sleep. So I know why she's crying. And that's when I started realizing that even if I have a rhythm, a daily rhythm in my body, in my life, I will also be healthier and happier. And I obviously naturally fell into a rhythm because of my daughter, but it really made me so much calmer as a person that I continued to do that. And I continue to do it now. And even when my children stop waking me up in the mornings, I think I have totally got addicted to this habit, because there is literally so much extra time that I have when I wake up early.
And so interesting, because we are forever trying to force babies into that routine and rhythm, and we're constantly thinking about it, but we never think about routine and rhythms for us as adults. And I keep telling people that, adults are nothing but big babies, and we have to treat ourselves the same way that we treat our babies, especially when we have our night routine, like how you put your baby to sleep. There's a certain routine that you follow. Yes. The same thing is what we have to do for ourselves.
Yes.
And which is why getting ourselves into a routine is very important. And routine is nothing but your habits combined and joined together. So all your habits together start forming a routine.
Absolutely.
And this 6:30 became your magic number. Did you try experimenting with like 5 o'clock and 5:30 as well? Did you try those earlier mornings, or 6:30 was baba enough?
No, 6:30 is good, because I think a good night's sleep is also important. And no matter how early I try to go to bed, I cannot go to bed before 11. So I feel 11 to 6:30 is a very, very good amount of sleep. And I need that, because my brain functions on super fast mode the whole day. And if I don't give it rest, I'll become crazy in a few years and I'll be a lunatic. So I think everything needs to be balanced in your life, not just your work, but also your own body health, your rest, everything has to be balanced. So 6:30 is my magic number.
So 6:30 is the first place where your habit starts. Wake up at that point of time, right? What are the other important habits that you managed to put in your life that supercharge it?
Well, one of the most important habits is the habit of working out. So I definitely put in 1 to 1.5 hours of exercise every day, no matter what. Even if I'm shooting, the days I'm shooting, I will wake up a little early, but I will do that exercise before I go on the set. The second thing is the habit of forcing myself to sleep extra on Sundays, because I think that rest is sometimes not given too much importance to. It's extremely important for your rejuvenation and for you to be able to be supercharged on a Monday morning. So that Sunday lazing around. In fact, I forced myself to not even have a bath. That is a habit that I formed. No bath on Sundays. Just be in
Love
your
it,
pajamas the
Stinky
whole day.
Sundays. Must make it a
And
habit. We'll do a special podcast on this. Love it. So, but before that, when you're talking about
yeah.
getting into your workout, right? How do you feel when you don't work out? What happens on that day?
Well, if I'm so see, there are two things. If I'm not able to work out because I'm lazy, because like today was one of those mornings when I just was looking for excuses to not work out, but eventually I did put in an hour of workout, and I did very intense workout at that. But when that happens, I know for a fact that after an hour, when I go to office, I'm going to start feeling guilty that, Arey yaar, I should have done it only because I'm fine. And tomorrow, who knows tomorrow? Like tomorrow I have a shoot. So I don't know if I will be able to wake up at 5 in the morning or not and put in that extra time, what time will I be able to sleep because I'll be preparing for the shoot. So all of those things I feel, then I'll feel guilty tomorrow that, oh, I missed the workout tomorrow. And on weekends, anyway, strictly no workout. So all those thoughts start coming to me, and I start thinking about that in advance, that okay, I'll get now only if I just push myself for the next 5 minutes, I will be in the mode. And that's exactly what it takes. The minute I put my music on and I put my shoes on, I'm ready.
Yeah, getting those little the habits that put you in the zone, music on, shoes on, for you are those things that prime your, right? We call these workout primers, right? How do you get your mind into getting it done? And like you said, it just takes that 5 minutes, and all of us have to just break that 5 minute barrier, and then we're in it, right? So I think this workout and
Yes.
getting it in, very, very important. Your Sundays, again, as you said, the third habit, which is about relaxation, right? We don't even think about relaxation nowadays. We're all like, go, go, go. What are the other things that you do for relaxation
Yeah.
that fuel you and fuel the rest of the week?
Yeah, so there are a couple of things that I do for that. One is meditation. I meditate for half an hour in the morning, which is another reason why I like to wake up slightly early, because everyone else is asleep in the house, and that is the most peaceful time for me to meditate. So I put in 20 minutes of meditation every morning. Again, that's a habit that I'm still trying to form. So instead of 7 days a week, I'm able to do about 4 right now, but I'm getting there. So that's a new habit that I'm forming, because I feel because of the current times and the stress that we have around us, it is imperative for everybody to give the mental relaxation. Okay, and then there are times that suddenly in the middle of the day you start feeling like too much is happening and you're not being able to take it, and there's too much pressure building up. So that is the time when I take 5 minutes off, and if I'm at home, I'll go sit in my balcony without my phone and no gadgets, no books, nothing. And if in my office, I'll go sit at the window, and I'll just look at nature. I think nature heals you so beautifully. You look at the birds flying, whatever little sky you can see in Mumbai, and you look at the trees, you look at the leaves, the way they move with the wind, and it sort of really calms me down, and it makes me feel, it makes me reminded, it reminds me of all the blessings that I have in life, having a roof over my head, having beautiful kids, having a beautiful family, having all the comforts that I can think of, and being able to, having the luxury to be my own boss. It's not like somebody's going to throw me out of a job tomorrow because I didn't deliver on time, right? So that's a huge blessing. So why do I need to take so much stress, is what I remind myself. So I think nature sort of centers you, it sort of brings you back to reality, and 5 minutes is all it takes.
These small refueling habits are so critical, because our days just run away from us. And like we were talking before we recorded this podcast, where how we're constantly thinking about the future, or we think about what happened in the past, and our mind's constantly rushing to it. We're constantly evaluating ourselves. These little moments bring us back. They give us that centering and become very, very important, essential habits in the way that we've created. What are some of your habits for
Absolutely.
productivity? What are some of the habits to kick ass at work?
So first of all, I think multitasking is something which is very overrated. I myself am a big multitasker, but I slow myself down and avoid multitasking. I give myself one thing at a time and I make sure that I do a good job of it and I finish it before I move on to the next. So I stopped opening multiple windows on my laptop because it's very confusing. You go to one window and there's a mail waiting for you, and then you go to the next one and you totally forget about the first one, and then you're the second one and the third one. It's very confusing. It kind of puts your brain in a shock mode. So I stopped doing that. I started writing instead. I put down every time there's a mail that pops, I write down that attend to this later, and I go back to the task at hand. And whatever else comes up, I keep making a list of it, that these are the things that need to be attended to today, one at a time. So that really makes a huge difference to my productivity. And I tell others around me also who are in the meeting with me, I tell them, please put your phone off when you come to my room. Do not attend any calls. Put it off. Give me your undivided attention for 15 minutes or half an hour, and then go back to whatever you're doing, because I don't want my thought process to keep breaking in the middle again and again. And that really, really makes a lot of
absolutely getting your attention in 100%. Like we say, like multitasking doesn't exist. It's all task switching. It's this or that. It's never this and that happen together, right? Which is why this whole idea of focusing on only one task at a time makes such a big difference. When do you like your working schedule to follow, or when are you most productive?
So I think that would be immediately after lunch.
Wow, really?
People like to put in that little, people like to snooze a bit and get lazy after lunch. I'm the most supercharged after lunch, because नींद भाग चुकी होती है, खाना वाना settle हो चुका होता है, and also I know that 6:30 I like to go back home and spend some time with my kids, and I don't want to take the burden of work home. So I'm in super fast speed at that time, and I can finish so many things so fast. It's not even funny. I amaze myself. Sometimes
we have to figure out what you're eating, huh? So, yeah. Because most people are like you said, snooze mode, lunchtime, don't make me do anything. Full work is off the mind. What are you eating that fuels your second half?
I eat less. I eat less for lunch.
So that's the secret.
I hog at dinner.
A small lunch and then just like bang out the work in that time.
Yeah,
this was total googly for me, huh? I think you're the first person who's ever told me that you're the most productive at lunchtime. Okay, post lunchtime. Yeah. So what I do is I set up my meetings during the lunchtime, or 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So I know that I'm not going to end up snoozing. Or even if I do it, I take my 20-minute power nap, but I don't miss out on that afternoon time, because otherwise it can just flow, especially now that we're all working from home. Kalas, the afternoon disappears in your work schedule.
Oh yeah. Working from home is another hassle. Absolutely. You have to constantly remind yourself that you have to designate our working hours for yourself, and that's it. You keep it separate. And in fact, I come to office, Mohit and I come to office is closed. There's nobody in office except us, but we come to office especially because we want to put in those many hours at work, and then leave our laptops in office, not take them home, and then go and spend time with our kids. And same in the morning also. We come late, we come at around 11:30, so that we do our workout, we do breakfast with kids, bathing them, everything together, family time. And that is how we stay sane. Otherwise, there's no end to it, like you said.
Yeah.
We keep going crazy with it.
Did you all go crazy in the beginning when you all were when the lockdown happened the first time around?
Dude, crazy is not the word, because we did not have any staff. Okay, so right from jhadu pocha to cooking the food to taking care of kids, and Aram was all of 8 months at that time. He could literally do nothing and could not be left alone at all, because he was just barely learning how to crawl, and every area in the house was had danger written on it for him. So one person had to be attending to him throughout. On top of that, we had shoots. So we were shooting from home, proper full-fledged fictional pieces of content, okay, without actors, without a cameraman, without a sound engineer, without spot boys, without anybody. So khana banakar, Mohit used to operate the camera. We used to also do script writing in the middle of all of this. And I was the actress. I had to put on makeup and then go to the kitchen and cook and all of that, and create entire episodes with just one person in front of the camera, and Mohit doing the lighting, the sound, the camera, everything. And then to upload that footage to the editor, was a task because he didn't have good Wi-Fi. So for him, downloading would take one entire day. Then to sit on the edit, online edit was really, really, really chaotic. So glad that time passed.
Really, and isn't it crazy how our homes have become studios? Like, I am not even into the amount of content creation that you do, but we have 4 lights, 15 tripods, one big green screen background, and all of this just in these last 2 years, because it's like, array, from here we have to start making content now, so might as well have all this equipment.
True, but we have an entire different house which we have completely just converted into a studio. So you go there, you put the lights on, everything is lit up. The equipment, everything is there. You go there, put the lights on, and you're ready to shoot.
Dream
that's
come
the
true.
level that we've reached now of working from home.
Yeah, I think you'll have up that whole ante, huh? Have separate home only. Perfect. Working from home, still home. Don't worry, it's still a home.
Yeah.
Lovely. So the last question I wanted to ask you with regards to habits is that, see, you, like, just listening to you, we know that you do so much in a day. How do you manage to fit it all in?
So I think it all depends on how well you can plan. So I don't try to do everything in one day, but I have different days of the week designated for everything, dedicated to whatever work that I need to accomplish in a week. And that whole planning, everything depends on that planning. Like today's slot is from this time to this time, from 1 to 2 is something else, from 2 to 2:30 something else. Everything is in slots. And as long as everything is within the time slots, it's really very easy, it's not that hard. Just if you plan it right. And I think sleeping also is extremely important. If I'm well slept, I think my efficacy is much, much
interesting.
More.
And do you have a special tool that you use for scheduling?
No, it's my mind only. I do everything with my mind, and it depends on priority.
So you're not using a calendaring software or anything like that?
No, that doesn't work. See, all these kind of things have to be customized as per your requirement. And whatever is priority for you at that point needs to be put in sooner, and other things need to be like today. There's a birthday party for the child. I'm also in the process of writing my first book, so I need to put in a certain amount of time for that. I need to. That is like absolutely undisturbed time because my chain of thought is extremely important in that. Then there is a separate slot which has been dedicated to the script writing for tomorrow's shoot. So it's just depends on what is happening in this week. And I decide everything according to that.
Lovely. Ian, I'm in the process of finishing my first book. We finished writing now, and the first edit is happening, and the rewrites, and that is a complete musty altogether, right? Because you look at all the stuff that you've written, and like, gee, this is what my first chapter looks like. Cancel. Oh, good.
Nowadays, that's what's happening with me. Every day, I'm just rewriting.
All the books that I've read recently have all been on writing, how to write well, writing for non-fiction. You have to dive in, like we were discussing in the previous podcast. It's all like your passion. You have to learn about these things. Superb.
Absolutely, yes.
Right? And the more things you learn about, just the richer your life becomes, I feel.
Yes, absolutely. And also the more things you do in life, that's how much more experienced you get. And that's how much more, I think, wiser you get. So important to try
everything. Yeah.
Why not?
Experience is the name of the game after all. Chhavi, thank you so much for coming and doing the podcast with us. We absolutely loved it. How can people get in touch with you, connect with you, and take conversation forward?
Well, the best place to connect with me is my Instagram. So you can DM me and the handle is at Chhavi Hussain.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much, Chhavi, for coming on.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to be here. Bye-bye.
Yay! So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I would like to thank the sponsors of the network this week, Cred, Ciet, and PayPal. Thank you so much. You make everything possible. Before I recommend a couple of episodes, I just wanted to quickly talk a little bit about Ankush Champanerkar. Ankush was a team member who we lost due to COVID-related complications. He was a really fun guy, and I wish I knew him better than I got to know him in the short time he was with us. But I hope that you can remember him in your thoughts and prayers. Also, quick reminder about Pod for Change, the initiative set up by the podcasting community, along with Give India, the NGO partner. You can go to tinyurl.com/podforchangeindia, and I'm sure that it would be much appreciated any donations that you could give. With that, let me quickly give you a couple of highlights from this week. Aditi Mittal was on Cyrus Says. Great episode, do check that out. On the Habit Coach, Ashdin talks about using the word impossible and suggests some better alternatives. On Advertising is Dead, Varun was joined by Harsh Lal, the co-founder of the Soul Store. On This Round is on Me, Gauri talks to Pankit Desai, who is the co-founder and CEO of Secure Tech. And finally, I'd like to mention that we have a new show called Tere Mere Raste, hosted by Keshav Chaturvedi. This time it's a trip to the beautiful blue city of Jodhpur, but every week he's going to tell you about his travels as a photographer. It's really well put together, really well done. I couldn't be more excited about the show. Please do definitely check that out. And with that, I hope we see you again next week.
Working Monday to Friday glued to your chair making you feel dull? Worry not. Get your 5-minute weekly dose of travel around the world with Postcards from Nowhere. Join me every Thursday as I explore the strange, obscure, and fascinating parts of the world and bring out facets of travel you may not have thought of before. You can find us on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you get your podcast from.